Hello, this is Derek from One River Tea. We're very excited to finally get these videos up on YouTube to share. So however you came by this video, please give us a like and a subscribe. That'll really help us along in the growth process as we continue to create these informative videos exploring the state of tea production throughout modern China. So again, if you appreciate the niche information that's coming at you, don't be a stranger. Get involved in this cooperative project. Give us a like, a comment, subscribe to stay tuned. We're still new and would love your feedback on what we're doing and suggestions on what we can do to do it better. What we're going to do in this video is go down to the southern coast of China, north of the port city of Shantou, to an old city called Chaozhou. Just outside of Chaozhou, a little to the northeast, we'll find the Phoenix Mountains, and here we'll find the tea we're looking for, Dancong Oolong. As soon as we got into the Phoenix village, we took a small stroll outside of town and were immediately amongst tea fields. Although the tea village sits at around 400 meters above sea level, the tea that's grown just outside of town is still considered low mountain. We were curious about what kind of farmers produce low mountain Dancong, as we primarily only ever hear the buzzwords like high mountain, old bush, extra rare. What we were seeing here seemed like medicine to the hyperbolic state of tea marketing. And so naturally, we wanted to learn more about the truth of this type of tea. On our walk, we ran into a Mr. Lin. He was baking and storing some fresh tea outside of his house, and we began to ask him about the tea he produced. He immediately invited us to have a look, and so in next to no time, we hopped on his motorcycle, and he was driving us back out to his fields. The motorcycle ride was incredibly short because conveniently enough, Lin's tea fields were the tea fields we walked by earlier. Although Lin speaks beautiful Mandarin when talking with us, the regular dialect down here is Chaoanhua. Chaoanhua sounds nothing like standard Mandarin. When I asked Lin how many tones they had in Chaoanhua, as opposed to Mandarin's 4, they have 11.
This tea plant should be 20 or 30 years old.
One thing we noticed about this low mountain Dancong is that a lot of the trees looked very healthy. The trees were well established, 30 years old or so, 20, 30, and were just being constantly picked. The standard pick here can be anywhere between 2 and 3 leaves. The key is to leave one new leaf on the new growth. After the tea is picked, it's brought to Lin's house for the first stage of sun wilting. We saw a lot of different batches of tea that looked differently, leaves that were shaped differently, some tea with bug bites on it, some teas that were more pale green, some teas that were darker green. The key with Dancong, with its so many varietals, is to keep these piles separate so you know exactly what varietal of tea you're processing at what given time. One interesting thing we found out about this village as we kept getting introduced to people is that everybody's named Lin. At first it was very confusing for us, but we found out this is a Ziran Sun, which is essentially one step below a township. It's a loose connection of families that all group together to create a small village. As the tea was sun wilting, we were taken away by one of the neighbors, and he showed us his home brew operation. This is some 50% baijiu.
Well, here we are.
12 p.m. About to eat lunch. Dude just gave us some of his homemade moonshine.
Kicking my ass, dude.
We had some big plans for the day. See ya. There was an overall sense of community in this area. Everyone's neighbors, everyone's slightly related to each other, and the pace of life just seemed a lot slower. Here we are drinking baijiu at 12 noon, which probably doesn't happen all the time, but when guests come over, might as well, I guess. The food was fantastic. Unfortunately, the tea that was picked this morning won't be ready to be processed until tomorrow. But what Lin did is he showed us tea from yesterday that's already been sun wilted, shake wilted. He showed us the tea in the Yaoqingji, which is the shake wilting machine. This machine rolls and tumbles the tea. He said once or twice, not too much because then it might create off flavors, might become a little astringent. But the tea in this machine is incredibly fragrant, and he said the green is ready to be killed. As is common with smaller operations, the small batch tea, the tea is constantly being groomed. Right now what we're doing is we're taking out the huangpian, last year's leaves, we're taking out these extra long stems, just trying to create a better tea in general. So this is double ye in Pingzhong, and it's super fragrant. Yeah, really fragrant. And here is the kill green machine. The tea is placed in here at about 180 degrees Celsius for about 6 minutes. And then the enzymes responsible for oxidation are killed, and the tea is ready to be rolled. One thing that slightly surprised us is the tea is immediately put into the rolling machine from the kill green machine. You can see the tea is still steaming. It's still very hot. If you feel the tea right now, it almost feels wet. A lot of moisture is coming out of the tea. And I imagine this rolling machine will act like a wringing sponge to get a lot of that moisture out. The tea is rolled for quite a long time because with Dancong, this really contributes to the shape of the tea. If you've ever seen a Dancong Oolong Tea, the leaves are incredibly thin, long, and twisted, and that is a result of this process here. After the tea is so tightly rolled, it's passed through this unblocking machine. Really all this machine is doing is just breaking up the tea and then placed on these wire mesh racks so that the tea can finally be cooled down. Now that the tea has been de-enzymated, it's been rolled, it's been cooled, now it's finally ready to be baked. This is Lin's baking machine. It's gas powered instead of wood powered. And so he creates a very even tea. Despite what he's doing, everything comes out the same. It's very interesting. The only differences would be the varietal and the Pingzhong. As mentioned, sometimes Lin will even double bake the tea. Here he is taking the tea that was just baked, puts it on a cooling rack, lets it cool, ready for the second baking. He's just making sure that the tea is totally dry before he sells it as Maocha. After that second bake, the tea is tea. It's ready to be drunk. Here we are drinking some of the fresh Maocha that we just made this day. Lin says it'll taste better after it settles for a little while, and better yet if you give it another bake after a few months. Here's Lin's family helping us buy some Maocha. They're sorting out the tea themselves, putting it into a couple pounds of tea for us. He tells us to drink it fast, because if it doesn't get that extra bake, it's not going to hold up well. Again, this is Derek from One River Tea. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I really hope you enjoyed it. We decided to do this video on Dancong Maocha because Dancong Maocha is an incredibly common type of tea. You might have already drank something that started out as Dancong Maocha from a producer like Lin. A lot of times Lin sells it to other people that do the final roast, do the final sorting, and then resell it at a higher price. Again, if you like the information that we're putting out here, give us a like and a subscribe. Stay tuned, get involved. We're gonna send out some more videos soon. Again, this is Derek from One River Tea, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.